to my gardening live stream, plant live stream. We do what we want, you know. Maybe one day I will show you my vintage collection of vintage toys. Who knows? But yeah, great to be back, guys. I enjoy what we do here, and thanks to you, I was able to recently buy a lot of pots, and I have them here on the side with me. I will show them later, and we will discuss everything. I have bought 3 or 4 different sizes of pots. I still have a little bit of coconut fiber, and we have flowers. So there's a lot of good stuff today. I wanna focus on repotting again once I'm done with the bookkeeping. Yeah. Hey, good morning, Paya. Greetings to you. Hope everything's okay. Great to be back. Have a lot of good stuff today. So great to see you. Hope everything is okay and all. You know how it is. I'm always worried. Make sure to treat yourself well. Give yourself some rest all the time, okay? So yeah, we have a lot of good stuff today. I've shown a plant earlier today. The videos might be coming on YouTube later. They still had, you know, like they have that automatic. They always check them for any problems, and then I can post them. So afterwards, I will show you that hybrid that flowered today by Miss Plant from the cross Betsy and Apricot Glow. Flower has color. It's not white, and I was very happy. Second seedling from that cross, and it has color. Hey, good morning, mates. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for being here. Yeah, this morning I filmed a nice video with the flower of a hybrid by Miss Plant. I still have it in the time-lapse video, but I will bring it into the live stream tomorrow when I'm done. The video looks great. Really cool. You will love it. You will be blown away. So yeah, welcome everyone. We will have a lot of stuff today. I will turn the camera around and then we will discuss something, okay? So let me take this. So then we have this here. This is Sörensia arboricola. Can't you just zoom in? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, this one opened yesterday evening. It has rained a little bit on it, but the pollen is still dry enough to use it. Yeah, this one here will open in the evening. Plant had a third flower bud, but I knocked it down when I was sitting here, you know, when I was waving the arms around like a goof. And of course I broke it off. But yeah, at least we have these two. This one here, we can pollinate with Amun-Re. I think Amun-Re is going to be the father here. And I don't know for the second one of the other botanicals that I have in the greenhouse. We could also use that hybrid by Miss Plant that I just discussed. Betsy Apricot Glow. Then I wanted to show you this one again. Hey, thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Also, everyone else, welcome. We're going to have a great live stream. So this one is finally fully open. This is a hybrid that opened yesterday. And when I had it in the live stream yesterday, the flower looked a little bad because it just wasn't fully open yet. I always have to remind myself to give the flowers time to actually fully open up. Yeah, and these are pretty good. Maybe we will pollinate a columnar cactus with that. Then we had such a extreme heat, like the last days, that a few flower buds have dropped on bigger plants. I haven't watered in the last days because I was doing bookkeeping, you know, was doing taxes and that kind of stuff. So I missed the watering, and that is exactly the weakness of the smaller pots. When you're working with something like this, you have a lot more time where the water stays in, sometimes even a week. With something like this, a day during the heat. You know, when it's really, really hot, it makes a big difference in regards to can you provide enough water to that the plant can continue to grow the flower. And yeah, you always, if you're working with small pots, you always have to water. You can't say no. You can't you can't forget to fertilize. That's all things that you have to keep in mind. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for being here. I'm great. Thank you. I'm enjoying what I can do today. I have gotten the new pots, which we will discuss in a minute. I'm just happy that I have the means to report, to actually do the hobby. It's a great privilege, because I've, like, the last 15 years, I was doing it without the money. And that's why often I didn't have enough pots to report. So yeah, it's better now. It has rained. Tonight it has rained, but the heat will probably at one point come back. But I'm just happy that we got a little break for a day or two. So this one here, I'm not sure what to do with this. This is a beautiful Lobivia hybrid, but I'm going a little bit away from Lobivia. This has a fruit and there are seeds in there. Some of them have been eaten. We will definitely put that thing into a little bag later. Yeah, and apart from that, I'm not sure if I want to keep this or not, but we will wait until the flower is fully open. I've shown this plant very often and it's nice and beautiful, but also relatively small compared to the other stuff. So here are the pots. Check this out. These are the new pots and I feel like I should have bought a different size. I have these here, and this time I bought square pots because they just don't waste so much space. You can place them besides each other. In the greenhouse, this is a lot easier to put besides each other than when you have some that are square and some that are round. And yeah, good material. Let me see. This is 11 liters. And this is a lot of medium that we're using for these. Then I have a few that are a little bit smaller. This is for groups of seedlings. Yeah, I'm very happy that they are here. In totality, I think I paid $150 for them. Like for the pots cost 100, and the pumice was something like $40 or so. Oh, come on, man. They're really tight pushed into each other here. Okay, yeah, this is something that we will use for little seedlings. 6.5 liters. 194 times 194 times 242. We will see. But this looks pretty good in regards to the quality. I'm just worried that we will be using a lot of medium here. Now I have pots, but I instantly need to buy new medium to fill these. I think, let me see how many liters. This is 30 liters. I think one coconut fiber brick is 650 gram, 9 liters. So yeah, three bricks roughly for one of these. That's a lot. Yeah, but this is going to be good for the big plants, like for the really big ones that I want to remain, that are supposed to stay in one spot and go nowhere else. They stay in the greenhouse, and then I have a decently sized pot that will hold the water for a few days in summer. That's all I wanted. Greetings to you, Remo. Good morning. Great to see you. So here's Amun-Re. I had the plant in the house doing time lapse. Unfortunately, the flower is very far along now. But yeah, we can still work with the pollen. Yeah, I will look into it. Thank you. I'm not sure. I think next time I'm buying me slightly smaller one. It would have been okay if this would have been, if they would only be this high. Could have grown a little bit wider. I think when I'm filling it up, I will not fill them up until way up, maybe until here. Otherwise, it's getting too expensive with the medium. Yeah. Here's Amun-Re. Check it out. This is the body. This is the tip that I took down recently, mostly to film the time lapse, but also to propagate. And we have to be careful with this. Here's the wound. Let me see. This needs to be out. This needs to be out right away. And we will put that into the greenhouse somewhere with this thing pointing into the sun or pointing towards the sun. I just wanted to wait until we are done with the filming. This looks dangerous. It could be that we might have to cut again. Usually I would never move a plant right into the house after cutting, but in order to film this thing out was the only way I could have filmed it. The plant was too hard, too heavy to move. Yeah. So now making sure this thing doesn't get infected. I will leave it here for the live stream, and then this goes into a good spot. Not sure about the flower. Yeah, we will see. I will place it somewhere on a pot, make sure that there's oxygen coming at the bottom, and we still might have to cut again. And I think we will. I think we're doing that right now, or in the next days. I don't like the wound here. This is not looking the way it's supposed to look. We are cutting again in a few hours or days. I don't know. In the next 1 or 2 days, we will have to cut this thing off here. And what I will do is I will cut it here. And that gives me a little piece with security distance, with safety distance, that I can then also use for propagation if it pulls through. And it will allow me to place that infected part at the bottom, right facing the sunlight. If I'm doing it with this plant here, it will certainly drop the flower. Yeah, okay. Okay, by the way, I found the pollen of Leucostele deserticola. It was in my bag of potatoes in the fridge. It had fallen down into the potatoes, and when I was done with it, I found it. So in the evening, I pollinated. Yeah, it looks infected. We need to cut it. Not a chance. And this, I didn't see it inside. This was cut maybe 3 days ago, and you can't keep them inside in that time. It was a risk that I was willing to take. But yeah, this is not good. We need to cut it again. And it will be okay. This is just within the first day. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it right away. Just want to see where my equipment is, and then we're doing that right away. And when we're done, the plant needs to come really in a spot where it doesn't come back. So yeah, cutting here because I want to have a piece that's big enough to actually survive if it makes it. Okay. Nice, clean wound. See, this thing here, I would place like this on the top shelf, or maybe somewhere in the shade. This is still okay. We can still heal it. Eventually, in the right spot, this will run out of steam. This will not be able to grow if we're placing it in the sun. The cactus can take more sunlight than the mold. Mold needs specific conditions, or pathogens often need specific conditions. And you can make use of that. So this would stay up here, getting full sun from both sides. This side in the evening, let's turn it like this, okay? I will turn it like this, because this is where the sun is in the morning, coming in here. And yeah, this is early on. This happened within the last day. Okay. Yeah, and then the other one we have to certainly callus now properly. We might lose the flower, but it's okay. Okay, so yeah, I'm moving these aside a little bit. When I'm in the middle of reporting, it's always hard to keep everything. I don't have a shed or something where I can put stuff, you know. So we are using these to report in the next days. This will be great. I'm looking forward to that. These are like, on one hand, I'm unhappy about the immense amount of soil that we will be using with them. But on the other hand, this is a good size where you can really get a super healthy plant that can also grow out the fruit. You know, it's not enough to actually get flowers. You also have them, they need to actually have enough energy and time to grow them. So yeah, let's go into the greenhouse. I want to show you what's going on there, okay? Going into the greenhouse. Oh, this one here, by the way. I still have this one. I still haven't gotten any further with it. Looking at the spines, I have definitely seen a few seedlings from Liskes Feuerzauber and Feuerzauber's Schwester that had similar spines. So I suspect that the label is correct, but I'm not sure. This is a plant that I had grafted maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And now it's flowering. Hard to tell if this is a botanical or not. Probably not. So I will probably sort it out. But in my collection, when I have plants where I'm unsure about the label, it can always also be a rare botanical species that I haven't grown yet, where I haven't seen them as a seedling yet. You know, like every species looks a little bit different, and it takes a long time to actually have experience with all of them. There are some species that are relatively rare, and yeah, I'm growing them from seeds, but I'm not 100%. I can identify them as big plants, but I haven't seen a lot of them as seedling. Thank you. Yeah, I want to build me something like that. Waiting for when things are a little easier, you know. But I will do that. We have a lot of space here. We can build all kinds of stuff. Yeah, this one here is opening up maybe in the evening, but already like short flower for now. When I measured it out, when it was fully open, this one was pretty big though, so maybe we're lucky. Yeah, okay. I just wanted to have a look at something. I'm looking for certain seedlings that are for a grafted plant that I have, and I can't find it. I don't know. When you have a big collection, finding one specific plant can be difficult. So yeah, I have a few that are opening up. Yesterday evening, the Echinopsis glauca had the open flower. Was able to collect pollen. Pollen was ripe and all. Was very happy. So yeah, let me show you. This one has opened. First time flowering for this one. And I'm disappointed in the small flowers. I'm really disappointed a little. We will wait until it's fully open. But this is already a little bit shorter than I would like to have. Check out the spider inside. Imagine you are a little fly just flying to the flower, trying to grab some pollen, and then this guy is jumping at you. It's really crazy how unfair, how, you know, like in nature, they really use every trick in the book. Yeah, but we will see. Then this one here, this is Echinopsis glauca, and I want to show you that, like, that brownish coloration, the discoloration that this flower has, that is something that I've mostly seen on this species, Echinopsis glauca. It is a species that gets that bruises easily, like that brownish bruising there, they get that a lot. I feel like this is something that you might be able to use to identify them, you know? Like if you compare that, I haven't seen that on many other species, like in this exact form. It might be a unique trait. This one here opening. Oh, and Scopulicola. Check out the Scopulicola. Scopulicola with huge flowers. That is the thing that always stands out when I see Scopulicola flowering. The flower size is immense. this is something that can be very useful. If you compare this and then you compare it to something like, you know, like the others here, like this one, for example, that is quite a different ball game, you know. So they will open tonight. This one definitely, and this one probably too. The other one might open with a delay of a day, but these three will open within the next 2 days. Then we can think about what to use for pollination. I thought about using Amun-Re, the second plant. We could maybe use that Hilde-Winterer hybrid, that big one that I had yesterday, Acacia Hilde-Winterer hybrid. Simply because it's involving a hybrid called Apricot Giant, and that hybrid is very fertile. That is so fertile that I think it might be even able to pollinate something like this here. So yeah, and that's the plan in the next days. We will pollinate these two today. One of them will get Amun-Re probably, and the other one, we could use the misplant hybrid that I currently have in the house, where I'm currently doing a time-lapse video with it. We could use that one, for example. The flower has color, but it's not really multicolored. We could also use something else. I don't have a lot of pollen out right now. We have that hybrid by Vladi Yasan that we could use, like that Lobivia hybrid. Yeah, what else? Like the Deserticola pollen is gone. Bamboy is probably, in my opinion, might not be viable anymore. But I'm also not sure. Maybe we should definitely pollinate one of the Scopulicola flowers with Bamboy. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for being here. Just discussing what we're using for these two. But that's the options right now. I mean, Bamboy, yeah, I should probably try it again, but the pollen is maybe already a few months old. At least 1 month, I believe, with Bamboy with the last flower. And that's quite a while ago. Might not be viable anymore. I like to work with fresh pollen when the flower is opening up, so maybe we should use that Vladi Yasan hybrid or the Hilde-Winterer. Also, the Hilde-Winterer could be great here because the flower size is secondary for that. It would already be great to have a hybrid that has a board that is a mix between Hilde-Winterer and this one here. So yeah, that's the plan right now. Here's the plant that we reported recently. Just wanted to show it again. This is really good. I like it. I'm glad that I managed to report that. It's okay. Yeah. Oh, here's one. This one had in the heat had dropped a few flower buds. Gotta say that. This one had so much heat in the greenhouse. I just didn't water enough. That is the price of having smaller pots. You always have to water them reliably every week. You can't, when they're in the process of opening up, you can't not do it for a while. So we need to do that right away, okay? This one's still open, by the way. Red Star Grandiflora. Maybe we should have a maybe we should pollinate it again. Looking at this, I think the pollination failed. What was that super colorful Lobivia you found yesterday? Does it have pollen? It's a hybrid by Utah Shots, and I collected a little pollen. And I consider using it. But it's inside the house. I would have to get it. It didn't have a lot of pollen. It had a little bit, and I collected pollen with the scissor. Had to really do everything to get a fair amount of pollen. And I already pollinated one plant with it. I might not have enough pollen to do a second. I'm not sure, but we should try. That is the pollen. If I had more of it, I would use it on all. Really on all plants, on all columnars. That is the kind of Pseudolobivia hybrid that very often causes a successful pollination. I definitely want to pollinate Scopulicola with it. Yeah, but I removed all of the filaments and everything, and that usually decreases the viability even a little bit more. It was just there wasn't enough pollen, you know. So yeah, in here, let's see what's going on in here. Wanna remove this here. This just not, yeah, okay. This one failed. Both pollinations failed here. And it's okay. Here's one opening. Yeah. All right. I wanted to show you something. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure if I find it right now. I have a plant called, like the label says, Sorensia tunariensis, and it's this one here. I think that's Sorensia telegona. I'm not sure if this was grown from the Karel Kniese seeds, but if it was, then the Karel Kniese seeds usually probably had the wrong species as tunariensis, but I'm not sure. We will see. Okay. I've looked at photos this morning by people who posted plants with the label, and it doesn't look like the right species to me. So we will get some pollen now. Okay. Pollinating that thing. Yeah, and this one here also still open, might not have been successfully pollinated yesterday. We should really, and I mean, if this is really the plant that's on the label, I will not keep it. I'm just a little bit unsure because this is a little bit different in regards to the spines. Like, let's say, pink stripes. Pink stripes looks quite different to this. But it should be a similar hybrid, you know? So, yeah. It's kind of hard when you have plants where you're not sure about the label. This flower here would not qualify as a hybrid. Like, if I would just look at the flower quality, I would sort this out instantly. But if it's a rare species that I want to keep, just for demonstration, just to be able to share it on the live stream, then I might keep something like that. You know, there are some botanical species that you keep just because it's rare, because you have the chance to actually show it. But yeah, with this one, no idea. Flower looks a little bit like chicken dancy even, you know, but not good. Okay. Yeah, so so let's wait and see what we do. This Amun-Re did the fresh cut, and later the plant needs to go either in the greenhouse or below a roof. Can't be in the rain. This needs to get fresh oxygen every day. There might still be pollen in the flower. We could collect, we could get out all the filaments here, this stuff here, just to dry it and have a little bit more pollen available. I consider to do that. Like I said, the viability of this kind of pollen when you're getting it out like this is greatly reduced. But it will be good for a few days. You know, you might be able to pollinate something within a week. And that's why I consider to remove that. Maybe we're collecting that and then just thinking about the pollination here. This is the kind of plant that I would pollinate with that Pseudolobivia from yesterday. We should really do that. So yeah, I will get the tripod here, and then we're working on Amun-Re a little. For one, to collect pollen and then to pollinate here. Yeah. So, okay. I will get me a little paper bag to collect the pollen. By the way, these are the ones that I collected yesterday. This is just the pollen, the pure pollen and nothing else. And this will have a much higher success rate than what we're doing here. This pink stripes that I brought and shuttery yellow. Yeah, we should, like Amun-Re, I usually try to pollinate with something like a Pseudolobivia, like what we had yesterday. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's enough. I will get the pollen. We'll get a bag. We're collecting a little bit of pollen, and then we're trying to pollinate that again. If we have a little bit pollen left, we could pollinate that one plant in the greenhouse. So, give me a second, okay? I'll be back. Okay, I have the bags, I have the pollen, and now we can pollinate. I got some pollen for pollination and some bags to collect pollen. So yeah, I want to collect pollen with the scissor. In order to do that, it needs to be dry, so I'm just drying that thing here, cleaning it a little, and then we are removing all of this here and drying it in a little paper bag. This should be enough for a few pollinations within the next days, and the viability will only be for that. It will not last forever. When you're working with a paper bag like this, you can really dry the pollen. Then take it out like this, filaments and all. And eventually, when all the organic stuff has dried up, you will have a little pollen on it. When you use the brush and when you put the brush into this bag later, all the organic material will have lost the water, will be dried up. That means that the pollen will be concentrated on what's left in the bag, and that helps you a little bit, you know. And again, this does not replace collecting pure pollen. Pure pollen is something that you should always do. This is just something that you do when you're trying to get a little bit more pollen out of the plant than it has. You know, I have already finished with pollen collecting, and then afterwards, this can give us a little bit more for maybe 2 or 3 pollination, but just that, nothing more. So, okay. Here, will be dried. This is basically filaments, stamens, and all that stuff, anthers, and we will let that dry. Putting Amun-Re on the bag. And this will take a few days to dry. Maybe 1 or 2. Okay, so let's have a look at the pollen here. Like I said, we will be using that Pseudolobivia hybrid from yesterday. And it might take a while until I find it. Pollen needs to go right into the freezer again. This is coming from the freezer, not the fridge. Really, freezer. So many. I have collected so much pollen, we will never use all of that up. We could also use grandiflora, by the way, with this is one of the plants where I feel like if we're working with grandiflora, we're getting something good. Maybe I should really we should really consider that more often. Humkisro, I have a lot of Hildewintera here. Wörlitz hybrids, Telegonoides hybrids, all kinds of stuff. But this is nothing that that I'm looking for here just now. This is Red Star. This is Grandiflora. I will put that aside. I definitely want to use Grandiflora as a fodder on a few plants, on a few columnar plants. This bamboy, I will put that also out for us. Maybe we can use it. Also have a little pollen here of feathers, but I have doubts about viability. I definitely want to have something colorful. Okay. I have a lot of pollen that I collected early in the season. I have pollen of Saveln, by the way, also. We could use that too. A lot of stuff that we can use here. I hate it. I shouldn't collect so much pollen. Every time I'm going through everything and I'm not finding something, I think I regret that I'm always collecting so much pollen. Glauca, Flying Dragon. Oh, come on. Might have also taken it out already. Maybe I used it up already. Flying Saucer, Fast 12. Yeah, let's put that out. It's also Bamboy. I'm already preparing for the pollination of the others. We are already picking the pollen that we want for that. Here's a Charm hybrid. Maybe let's put that out. They have pretty strong pollination capabilities. I need a better system for pollen. I think I'm putting them into something for tea bags, you know, where you can just browse through. Nope. I've used that up yesterday, I think. Oh no, here, it was literally the last bag. It was literally the last bag. I hate it. Thank you very much, I hate it. So yeah, now we found it. I will check how much pollen we have. If it's enough, then we're using it. If not, we're using something else. All the pollen back in here. All right, good. So yeah, the plant hybrid by Utah Schatz, and flowers are great. Very often when you're pollinating a columnar with a pseudolobivia, you get something good. More often than not, in my opinion. Like I have maybe 100 plants that are all similar. Like just with that pattern where you bring in a pseudolobivia into a botanical, and they are almost all good. Like at very least they are good. So, and some of them are incredible. I will get pollen brushes, and then we're pollinating here. There's very little pollen. We will try, but this isn't an option. It's not good. Yeah, I mean, I pollinated it now, but this is not really. There was so little pollen that I already removed. Like, did I collect it with the scissor? And even then, it isn't much. It might not be enough for one pollination. I consider to pollinate with something else. I just don't think we have qualified with the pollen with the amount of pollen needed to induce pollination. I will try bamboy. So if we're getting something from this, we have either the pseudolobivia or bamboy, and you should see the difference in the body later. Let's try it out. This gives us at least a chance. This is the only flower of Amun-Re that we will have this year here. And yeah, then you have to kind of make it count. So the plant here will instantly, I will move that somewhere in the greenhouse. Let me see if I can carry it with you. Probably not, but I will try. We'll try getting it. Yeah, this is okay. We can do it like that. Okay. Really painful spines. This is the plant's hard to handle. There are very few plants where I'm really careful about moving them, but this is one of them. It has something in the tissue, like that flexibility in the tissue that you do not have in some of the other columnar cacti. Might have to do with the spines. This is also a very unusual spination. It's like an Echinopsis hybrid, but in the worst kind of way in regards to the spines. There are Echinopsis hybrids with short spines. This one here isn't. So yeah, we will place it here now. And we have to be a little careful because in the greenhouse, it will be so hot that the plant might drop the flower. Just might drop it because of the heat. From time to time, I'm having a look at the spider here, but I think it moved out. Either that or the spider got eaten by another spider. Something like that, yeah, but I can't see the spider here anymore. It might be here. Maybe it's just hiding, but I haven't seen it in a while. Yeah, and that's where I put it. We'll stay here now. And later we have to check this. The wound here needs to be really getting oxygen. And if it's in the greenhouse, if it's not enough oxygen in the greenhouse with the weather outside, with the climate, with the humidity and all, then we need to really move it elsewhere. Good. Yeah, so I would say we are pollinating that plant in the other greenhouse, like these two flowers that we have. One of them will get Amun-Re, and the other, who knows, we will see, okay? We'll try my best to find something good. So, okay, where is it? Yeah, we're taking this here. This is the other brush. This will go into the freezer again. Just flower pollen from different cacti, all kinds of them. I also brought these 3 brushes have pollen of the hybrid that I have inside. Hybrid by Misplant from Betsy crossed with Apricot Glow. Yeah, and that thing, we will see what we do with it. Right now, most of the flowers aren't open yet. That's where we might use it. The flower in the time lapse was full of pollen, really a good one. So, okay. I will definitely not collect pollen. This is nothing that I really want. Check out that cool spider in the flower. Yeah, it's kind of hard to make a decision here. Let me see. We will definitely pollinate one with Amun-Re, and we're doing it now. Let me see. Where is it? Have I forgotten that one? Ah, yeah. Of course I did. Oh, I hate it. I think I forgot the Amun-Re pollen at the other spot. Gotta go over again. Yeah, we will pollinate one of the 2 with Amun-Re. We could use Bamboy for the other. Bamboy or yeah, that hybrid from inside, from Betsy Apricot Glow. It has a pinkish kind of flower. Hey, welcome to the live stream. So, oh, and also we could use this one here by Vladiyasan. I always say working with fresh pollen can have higher success than with frozen pollen. We should really consider that at least. There's a lot of pollen here that we could use. Could be great. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, Amun-Re, yeah, Amun-Re here, this one. This is what we will use on that one flower, probably on the left. Yeah, and I'm open for suggestions with the other one. Like I said, we could use that Hilde-Winterer hybrid that was so interesting. We could use that hybrid from inside the house, Betsy Apricot Glow. We could use the Vladiyasan hybrid, that red one with the smallish flowers. With that one, I feel like we might really get a very small, might get seedlings with very small flower. So, okay. Hey mate, greetings to you. Thank you for being here. Great to see you. Yeah, we're just pollinating a little here in the greenhouse, and most of the flowers aren't open yet. So this one here will get Amun-Re, a hybrid that with Macrogonus as species, I think. At least that's what was on the label. Who knows what kind of a plant it was? Hey, can you try not to eat me, spider? I just want to pollinate, okay? Thank you. I'm still in the middle. You know, right now there's chaos everywhere because I'm reporting, and there's so much change happening right now. So many new pots. You know, I'm really struggling because the day is only has so many hours. But it's going good. Thank you. Yeah, okay, so this one here, Amun-Re. Now the other one. Like I said, I consider the Hilde-Winterer hybrid. I consider Bamboy that I have, but Bamboy pollen might be gone. Red Star. This is Bamboy. might also not be viable anymore. This is a Buena Vista hybrid. It's also Bamboy, also pollen that might not be viable. I'm not sure. So I will put this one aside. We could also pollinate with Grandiflora, just classic Grandiflora. This one was good. This was Buena Vista Rosa California hybrid, also good. So much in there that has potential. But yeah, you only have so few flowers every year. Yeah, I mean, there's huge differences, and that is something that you only know about when you have seen them for a few years, letting them grow out. This one here, the flowers are gigantic. This is really a huge kind of flower dimension compared to something like this, much smaller. So right now I'm in the phase where I'm trying to get them all to flower, so I see which ones have the best flower. And yeah, this is way up. Scopulicola, way up with the flower size, really good. Yeah, and this one back there has huge flowers. We will use that one. Also, this one will also get Amun-Re as a father later in the evening. They will open in the evening. One of them will get Amun-Re. The other one I haven't decided yet. I actually wanted to use that Pseudolubivia hybrid from yesterday by Utah, but there's not a lot of pollen anymore. We could use the Hildewintera. That would reduce the flower size of the seedlings, maybe, probably. Yeah, if it would even take. When you're using Hildewintera on a columnar, I would expect the failure rate of, I don't know, 80% maybe higher. Yeah, they are great. I really recommend letting them get big, because a lot of plants only show their unique traits when they're getting a little bigger. Most people, they are already cutting the plants again when they haven't even reached their normal appearance yet, you know? So I really try to not cut them if I can. I would let these guys grow out until I no longer reach the flowers, you know? I would try to pollinate with a ladder, that kind of stuff. Are you watering every 7 days in good weather? I'm watering a lot starting in March. Like when March starts, I'm watering like twice a week until maybe May or June. Then I'm scaling a little bit back, but I think at least once a week. Only pausing when there's heat waves, you know, where we have to conserve water. But in usual weather, I water maybe once a week, maybe more if I have a good week. But when you have many plants, once a week is a good thing if you can do it. You know, if you can really manage to water them that often. When you have flower buds in the greenhouse, you have to water them at least once a week. Otherwise, they're dropping them. Like I've had a few flower buds that have been dropped in the last days while I was doing my office work, you know, like bookkeeping and all. So you constantly have to water if you want to keep them, for one, in the greenhouse, and also if you want to have them in smaller pots. They don't have a lot of time. You can't really say, okay, now I'm not watering for 3 weeks. Within that time, they will instantly drop everything they had, you know. Maybe just growing out the fruit, but still, I really recommend to water. Yeah, sure. I mean, if you think about it, when you have these plants in nature, when they are planted out, they have access to groundwater. They have access to morning dew, collecting on them. That's why a lot of them have these aerial roots, you know, so they can take up water from just the rain, and that plays a big role. Here you can see this one here got heat. These got a little heat. Got to be careful here. Almost you can lose all flower buds if you do not water often enough. That is the negative thing when you work with small pots. They really do not have a lot. Always got to keep that in mind. Yeah, I mean, I need a little bit of equipment here. But the one thing that really helped me is the water hose with the fertilizer attachment. That has really saved me so much watering work. Since I have that, I'm able to water totally differently. So I just wanted to have a look at, I think I forgot the Hilde Winterer hybrid, and I seriously consider using it here. So let me see, just try to find the right pollen. Yeah, Hilde Winterer, Acacia Hilde Winterer hybrid by Michael Kiesling, and I'm looking for that. I have collected pollen yesterday, but I'm not sure where it is. When you have so much pollen, it gets overwhelming. Like every time I'm looking for pollen, it's like I need like 20 minutes just to look for the pollen that I want. This is just pollen from this year. Pollen is just very useful. If you can freeze it, if you freeze it right, like if it's frozen like this, you know, where you just have the pollen, that stuff can stay viable for years. But what we're doing here, taking them out and in, of course, that decreases the viability of the pollen, shelf life and all. So yeah, I'm looking for a hybrid by Michael Kiesling, from that flowered yesterday, I think. And I always put the bags into the freezer again when I'm done, so might take a while until I have it. I apologize for the delay, but there's just never enough. You never have the pollen that you want to have in that moment. Oh, I hate it. So yeah, I think I will use the Hilde Winterer, and my reasoning is that I think the flowers are already small, you know? So if you manage to pollinate it with something unusual like Hilde Winterer, that could still make a good cross. This Humcus Roro, let's put that one out. Humcus Roro is a good Echinopsis Hilde Winterer hybrid, so that one could be good. I have it a lot on the live stream. We have grown a few seedlings from it, and yeah, it was really interesting to watch as a plant, but it has problems. Yeah, that would be great. I would love to plant out. If I ever move into another country, I will definitely do that. If I ever move to a country like Spain, you know, Spain has a nice climate for cacti that I like. Could plant some good stuff out there, but then again, you know, always gotta, like, it's always a risk when you're moving into another country, and like at one point you never know how politics change locally, you know, like there are many countries that are already going against people from other countries living there, you know. So you might invest in something and then they change a legal thing that completely messes it up for you. That's the big risk that I'm worried about. But I would love to have a better climate here, really. They just had 41 recently. They just measured 41 in Saarbrücken. Really hot. Unusually hot. That it was never that hot. It's just we either have incredible heat or rain. Or flooding, you know. There's nothing in between that in my climate that we have right now. Maybe I have it on the desk. I need to really look at that. Sister of Claw. Yeah, I think I must have it on the desk. Let me see. Or I put it in the freezer. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, then we're not using the Hildewinterer, of course, you know. Then we're using something else. Or we're using maybe Humkes Roro. We could use Humkes Roro. That one hybrid between Hildewinterer, hybrid Nolla 2, and an Echinopsis called Mutter der Halbgefüllten. So, okay, yeah, I think I'm taking Humkes Roro and that Pseudolobivia hybrid. I never find the pollen that I want to use. Never. So yeah, I'm pollinating the second flower now. I'm open to suggestions. What do you think? We could use Bamboy. We could use that hybrid by Misplant. We could use the Hildewinterer. We could use that Humkes Roro thing. We could use the Vladiyasan hybrid. I'm really not... Like, these here are so small already that we might not... That it might not matter. We could also use Red Star, Grandiflora. Lobivia Grandiflora is the name, I think. Yeah, what's this? Gray, pink stripes. This pink stripes, but it's also not looking good, like viable pollen. Yeah, we're using Hildewinterer. We're doing this. We're making a Hildewinterer cross out of this. So this one got Amun-Re. The left one will get Hildewinterer. And maybe we're using the other one if I find it later. So we would use a Hildewinterer pollen mix, just to increase the chance that one of them will be compatible with the pollen that we're putting on. So this is Humkes Roro, a hybrid that already has Echinopsis in the genetics, and that means that it might be more compatible than others. And that hybrid there that we shown yesterday, Acacia hybrid, pink velvet, crossed with what was it? Apricot Giant. That one is definitely an option too, because it might be self-fertile. It might be incredibly fertile, and so fertile that it induces pollination, you know, even in plants that are a little bit more distant. So yeah, we are putting this one on, and later I will do a second pollination with the pollen that I have with the other Hildewinterer pollen. Making a Hildewinterer cross on a columnar is really difficult, and a lot of them fail. So you always have to try around until you have a plant that works reliably. And there are some that, like I said, we might have a failure rate of 90%. That is something that's not unusual. That's why when you're pollinating, you are experimenting a lot. And just because a cross didn't work on one plant doesn't mean it can't work on another. Genetically, there's a big range that might be able to... You might be able to do a cross on another plant then. Okay. Yeah, so Amun-Re, Humkes Roro, and this one will get that mini maxi red. Good. Yeah, so these come into the fridge in case I want to use them. I've selected a few that we might be using in the next days when the other flowers are opening. This one here will open in the evening. And then we're using something else too. I want to measure the flower. Last time I saw the flower, this was too small. This is at risk of being sorted out. due to the small flower size. Yeah, and the others, Scopulicola opening in the evening, this opening in the evening, this one opening in the evening. We still have a little time. Good. Yeah. So this one here, the fact that it's still open, this is Lobivia grandiflora. Yeah, and the fact that it's still open is not a good sign. Probably failed yesterday when I pollinated with Amun-Re. Maybe we should do it again. Just to tell the plant, you know what? You're not getting anything else. Ow. Okay. Pollinating again, same pollen, Amun-Re. Genetically, you would have the highest success rate with Pseudolobivia, probably, Lobivia, Cerenzia. Cerenzia definitely is compatible with this. Not all, but a lot. Black throat in the flower. See that blackish circle at the base? That is, you can often see which pollen might have a higher chance of success if you're using the same kind of throat. If this thing has a black throat, if you're looking in, you're seeing black, then another Lobivia species that has the same might have high chances of success. A Lobivia species with a white throat down there, they sometimes have a ring, a white ring that you see when you're looking into the flower. Those have a much smaller success rate. You can really see the relationship a little bit on the throat. The throat is also something that is unique in some species. So yeah, Lobivia grandiflora, former Trichocereus grandiflorus, a great plant. The good thing is you see these almost purple filaments there. If you can get that trait into columnar, it can make an amazingly beautiful flower, because that is a trait that you usually do not see in a columnar. And that is the one thing sometimes when you're seeing the misplants, arboricola hybrids with grandiflora, that trait came through in them, in some of them, and not in all, but in the ones where it came through, it made such a beautiful flower. It's an incredible strength for a flower to have that. So yeah. Next days we will be repotting again. We will be cleaning up everything here. I'm looking forward to that actually. Right now I'm bound up. Always doing office work every day and I hate it. But it's important. It's okay, this was the pollination for now. We're doing something else now. Oh, we forgot the arboricola. Forgot arboricola. Yeah, we need to pollinate that thing. Maybe we're collecting pollen too. Let me see. Putting that here. Putting the camera on the tripod. And then we are collecting a little bit of pollen. Good. So Cerenzia arboricola here. We could also try to pollinate arboricola with that Hildewinterer hybrid from yesterday. Not today, maybe, but at a later date. So, okay. I will get me a brush and then we're collecting a little bit of arboricola pollen. I just wanna have enough so I can make 1 or 2 pollinations. It rained a little on the flower, but that shouldn't be an issue. This is such a healthy, such a fertile plant. A little rain usually doesn't saturate all the pollen that it has. Look at this. This is just from a little bit of collecting. This is already enough. We don't need, come on, a little bit more. Okay. So pollination, we will use Amun-Re. Nah. Okay, I'm getting me a new brush and then we're pollinating. Okay. This one will not be pollinated with anything else. I want to see if this works. Hey TJ, greetings to you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, we're pollinating Sörensia arboricola, a really nice, beautiful species. One of my favorites. I repotted the plant last year and it instantly grew 4 fruits. So this is going to be awesome. Pollinating a little. Little bit more, another pollination, but then we're done here. I don't want to use up so much pollen because it still has a high chance of failure. I don't think this cross worked before. I'm not sure if I tried it out or not, but I don't think I succeeded with it. So yeah, we will see. Okay. Then I would propose we are pollinating the last remaining flower of this one, this Floody Yassan hybrid, with arboricola. Arboricola, you know the deal. It's a good species for bringing in really good flowering. Has a lot of power, a lot of flower power, and it could do something unique with this lobivia here. And also, since it's a Sörensia and lobivia are often compatible. So yeah, okay. So first one Amun-Re, second one got what was it? What we had yesterday? Another one from the Hildewintera. Second one had the Hildewintera, and the third one now arboricola. Yeah, could be good. Who knows? If you're never trying it out, you can never tell if it would work or not. Okay, let's discuss the pots here. So these are the new pots. Just wanna have another look at them. So I intentionally got square pots because they use less space. They waste less space than the round ones. But now these should be a little big. Yeah, like a lot of potential here, both with the pollination and these also. I'm happy about them, but they're quite big. I'm already getting sad when I think about the medium that I have to buy to fill these. You know, we have to order coconut fiber again, and yeah, I like to work with pots that that are not so expensive to fill. But yeah, this is just the kind of stuff. When you have them in this, you can leave them in the greenhouse in one spot. We are using a medium that can hold the water for a day or two, and then it should be okay. In the greenhouse, when I'm using an organic medium in a pot size like this only works when the pot isn't wet over winter. You know, so we have to stop watering in maybe September at the latest, I guess. It will depend on how the climate changes, because our climate has changed a lot and we have longer summers or longer warm phases in the year. So maybe I'm watering a little bit later, but we really have to be careful. Yeah, they're a little bit too massive, like for my taste. I once again bought the wrong size. You have to really see these in front of you sometimes. I looked at the photos and I had the meter in front of me to look at it, but it's still, I did underestimate how big it actually is. But it's okay. We have these here. I think the big ones have 30 liter. That is in the future. That is what I'm looking at the liter content. That is a little more telling than just the dimensions. This has 11. This has 30. Oh, and then I have a few more over there. Maybe 10. No, can't be 10. If they're a little bit smaller than these, maybe 8. 6.5 liters. Yeah, so this is a little bit smaller. Yeah, exactly. I wanna repot like fewer plants, and like I wanna have them locally. I want to be able to leave them there without being overly worried that they might run out of water in summer. But we're running out of space. Oh, that's crazy with the cold temperature. Yeah, I mean, it cooled down here too, but not like yesterday was still hot in some phases where it was a little bit too humid. You couldn't go out, you know, but it cooled down here too. Okay, but this is what we will be repotting in the next weeks. And at this point, I have no idea which plants we will be repotting. We will decide that spontaneously. Yeah, okay. So here's one. Let me get that. Hybrid. Lubivia Laui hybrid. And I think we're using that. This one, Vladiyasan hybrid. This is the kind of flower that might actually produce something interesting. Either that or we could pollinate with Arboricola. We could also pollinate with a columnar, but it would have reduced chances for success. So let me see here. If we can pick up a little bit more pollen from them. I already collected pollen yesterday. Yeah, let's pollinate it. Okay. Good. So this one, Vladiyasan hybrid, and these Amun-Re, Hilde Winterer hybrid, Mini Maxi Red. and arboricola, Cerenzia arboricola. Yes, so now maybe we could fertilize a little. I have a fertilizer attachment here. Added a little fertilizer. Let's try this out. So yeah, this is the mineral fertilizer that I'm using. Okay, water's out. Yeah, but we will try it out here. And that is a good fertilizer that I'm mostly using as a flower fertilizer, you know, to mix things up a little bit. So, okay, I'm having the mixing at the lowest setting possible. I really don't want to use a lot of fertilizer here. Also trying to maybe change that in a way. Can't you just... No, I think this is only coming out like this. Really trying to fertilize in a very targeted way. And this fertilizer will only be used for the cacti. This is not something that I would use for vegetables. I would not wanna eat that. This is a mined fertilizer that can have contaminations, like uranium contaminations. Oh no, this one, when I'm sorting out a plant, I stop fertilizing it. Then it's someone else's problem. Yeah, let's go into the greenhouse. And this is a very good fertilizer that has something like 1130 or 830 and plus 3 in micronutrients. So pretty good fertilizer. Fertilizer is called Haka Phos Soft Novel. Definitely one of the fertilizers that I like to use. I have issues with the muscles already. Like lifting that thing up just now, already having issues. Gotta get more hose because I can't pull it so heavily. Like when I'm pulling it, my muscle goes away. A little bit more, and then I'm fertilizing the shelf. Yes, I heard of using that kind of stuff, but I wouldn't. For one, I mean, you can buy guano. I think that's how it's called, guano, right? No, guano is sometimes from penguins, right? Sometimes from bats, something like that. Bat guano, I read about that. And if you buy a commercial product where you make sure that you're not contaminating yourself, like they can have infections and all kind of stuff, you know? But it could be useful just as a fertilizer, you know? If you should use it because of the infectious risk and all is a different story, you know? But just from the nutrient point of view, it can make a lot of sense. Yeah, this greenhouse is just too hot. Too hot greenhouse. And then everything that's on the shelf has to be watered all the time. And if you're having time like I have right now, where you have to do something like office work, taxes, it's instantly getting dangerous because the shelf is so hot. Every day in the greenhouse, they are getting cooked. So, and when it's time like this, you can water them quite often. Right now, I'm just making sure we're not losing something. Most of the seedlings we have to take care of. We have to repot. We have to do something in most of them that are on the shelf here. We just didn't get to it right now this year. I'm still repotting the bigger ones and the very small ones, and these are in between. So just making sure that everything here doesn't expire, doesn't dry out from the heat. This is a very sun exposed spot, and it can only work if you're really watering them from time to time. Can't not water them. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and we will clean up here in the next month. I plan to really spend a month just cleaning up. Before we're moving the plants back in, everything will be cleaned up. Okay, I need to stop. Just wanna water these here a little bit, fertilizing them a little bit. Tomorrow we will fertilize the vegetables. This was just for cacti. This was just for the ones that had the most sun exposed spots. We will deal with the rest later. Yeah, I hate it. There's just too much stuff here right now. I will really, I think we have to sort out plants that haven't flowered yet. And I don't like to do that, but it's just getting too much. I feel it, you know, I can feel it that there are too many plants here. So I would scale back. I might actually donate plants for propagation in the next year. So I can maybe reduce the collection by half. Only keeping the best now. Okay, let's have a look here. All fertilizer gone. I think we're done here. There might still be something in, but it's really not so much. Okay. So I have a bunch of seeds. Let's deal with that. I have seeds and I always wanna really get them into the bag right away before I forget, before I'm losing them. So let's put it here. This is the pollen that goes back right into the freezer. I only brought it out so we can pollinate here. So okay, I have this. These are the seeds that we cleaned yesterday or a couple of days ago, and I always want to get them out of the paper into the bag right away, because very often I forget and then I throw the paper away. That has happened a few times now, where I've thrown away good seeds just because I just don't have the mental, I can't focus enough to do two things at once. I'm doing one thing, and then when I see another thing, I forget what I had to do with the first and do the new thing. And that's how it always is. So I try to get these in the bag right away, scraping the seeds off the paper towel here, and then I'm filling it in one of these paper bags here. They are pretty good for seeds too. At very least, they let out the humidity, the water. And that's the #1 enemy of viability. In addition to heat, you know, having a high temperature can make your seeds unviable, and having them in humidity can make them unviable too. This one here, by the way, this is Schaffery yellow from yesterday. Yeah, and this was one with the smaller, like one of the smaller fruits. I'm really not sure what to think of Schaffery yellow in this case. They really look like they're self-fertile, but you can greatly change how many seeds you have in the fruit by pollinating with pollen. You don't have to do it. It will still get it will still grow a fruit, but if you're not pollinating, you're getting fruit like this sometimes, you know. That's a good idea. I don't think I'm getting it locally here, but I'll keep an eye out. That might actually be a good idea. Thank you for bringing it up. I will look into it. Maybe I'm ordering some. So yeah, okay. I think it's maybe 300 seeds. I've had fruits of Schaffery yellow that had like 800, 6 to 800. It's sometimes it has obscenely big fruits. So yeah, and tomorrow we will pollinate the other columnar that are columnars that are opening up. I will post a long form video in the evening tonight if I can, showing Scopolicola when it's opening up. Definitely want to show that. It should open up maybe at 8, 7, 8 in the evening. And with Scopolicola, we should really pick something good. Amun-Re, I think, makes sense. Yeah, then I don't know. Maybe with the Hilde Winterer we could do it. I really think it is the kind of Hilde Winterer hybrid, the kind of hybrid in general, that is so fertile that it might pollinate all kinds of things. You're very welcome. So, okay. So far, when I've seen offspring of Schaffery yellow, it was usually following the mother, like following Schaffery yellow. And even if used as a father, it was also dominant. I had one hybrid where it was used as a father. It was like, it looked like Schaffery, like exactly like Schaffery. Very dominant kind of plant. I hate it. Now the bag is wet. Need to get a new one. So I will try to roll the pollen into the bag, and this can go back. This can backfire. Usually I would use a piece of kitchen paper, not a piece of kitchen paper, but a folded piece of paper that has a little bit more stability, that you can really. I'm trying to roll the seeds into the bag here. And surprisingly, it worked. I thought this would end in disaster, but look at this. Yeah, the yard was totally different. And at the time, the yard was basically just a slope. There were a few apple trees, and those apple trees were very old, but not good. And yeah, there was no space to do anything. It took a year it took a year for every single greenhouse to prepare the ground. It's just a very difficult place here. If I ever get a little bigger with the channel, then I'm getting me help when I'm building another greenhouse. You know, just straightening the ground, having someone who's actually qualified to do that, you know. So Schaffery yellow. Number 2, I think, was fruit number 2. And this goes into the freezer, maybe in the fridge, something like that. I really don't know where the Hilde Winterer pollen is. I hope I didn't lose it. So now I want to do this here. I have brought this plant that I want to discuss. Check it out. So this is a grafted rib. The goal was to graft this piece so it pops. Unfortunately, the grafting stock chose to put the energy into popping again. And now we have to remove that. Removing the side pop here. Let me see if I can do it like this. Just trying to get in between. Okay. Yeah, so this one, I'm not sure what kind of a hybrid this is, but it was a grafting stock, so it will probably not stay around. I would select this to give it away, maybe. Nothing that we should keep around long term. Now the cyan, the grafted piece here, has a little chance to continue to grow, but we have to really keep all other pups away. This can't put energy into anything else than the cyan. Also want to cut this grass here. Yeah, okay. At least it has a chance. It still doesn't look good, but it has a chance. Okay, then we have this. Let's get these down. So this is a Lubivia. This is a Lubivioides. Like the species name is, I think, Echinopsis lubivioides, formerly Trichocereus lubivioides. Yeah, and these are just botanical lubivioides. I think when we had them, the flower was too small. I considered to sort them out because the flower is just not big enough. I wanted to have them in order to just have an example for the species, because I wasn't sure how it looks. And we would either have to give them a separate pot, give them really space, or sort them out. And this is a good option right now because I don't have space for this, for one. But it would be good to have one. I don't know. I consider maybe giving this to friends, maybe, who can then plant them. And one day when they are big, they can show me how the plant looks like. So, yeah. But we have 2 fruits here. One with a yellow Echinopsis and the other with Lubivia venteriana. I think the flower was just red or something like that. Looked a little bit like the flower of Sorensia huasha, Echinopsis grandiflora, like that reddish kind of flower with a black throat. That's how those have looked like too, I believe. So the pollination here with yellow and with Winteriana can still have an amazing hybrid, can still produce an amazing hybrid. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Snoopy was great. I miss him a lot. Yeah, I mean, he got 14 years old, so he had a long life, but I still wish I would have been a little bit further mentally, you know, like I was going through a lot at the time with Snoopy, and I wish I had been a better man at the time. for Snoopy. You know, I'm a better man for Mika, like the dog that we got afterwards. We got her from animal protection, and I've become a better man, a better dog person through what I've went through with Snoopy. You know, I'm much more patient and understanding today. So yeah, and I also spent more time. Like I try really at the time when I was with Snoopy, I really tried. I was completely stubborn to really make a living. You know, I was really prioritizing work and not the family life, and that's why I've gotten a divorce. You know, I was really at the time I really wanted to do this. I wanted to succeed because I hadn't succeeded the way I wanted to, and yeah, so I kind of chose the business thing, chose the cactus thing, and today I regret it. With should have taken like half the time for the cacti and spent the other time with the animals, just the animals, and that's what I'm doing today. Yeah, we will see how many seeds are in there, but they look really small. We should get a piece of kitchen paper to just spread out the seeds, and because I feel like they could be so small that they are running through the holes of the sieve. So let me get a piece of kitchen paper and we will have a look at the size of the seeds. There are some fruits, if you clean them, you need a really small sieve. And this could be one of them. Like I said earlier, Sorensia, Echinopsis grandiflora, all of these Sorensia relatives, they can have really small seeds. There you can see it. They're a little bit smaller than Echinopsis, than Trichocereus. Let's spread them out. See? Spreading them out on the paper, out of the fruit. Because I don't think that the sieve that I'm using will catch these. They would run through. You might lose a few seeds here and there when you're doing it like that. But you would lose more if you would clean them with water. At least with the sieve that I have. Getting me another one, a little finer one at one point, but I haven't gotten one yet. I really need to look into that, what the smallest size for sieves is. If you can use the smallest size, would probably be best. Sorensia formosa seeds are tiny. And these look similar too. Remind me a lot of the seeds of Sorensia formosa. If that tells something about the relationship, I don't know. Okay. So this is number left. And that one was yellow Echinopsis with red. Oh, I think that might have had the red stigma. Yeah, so Lobivioides. I also once got a columnar cactus as Lobivioides, and that one came from Bolivia. And probably something like Isla del Sol. So there might be different plants available under that name. Spreading this out here because I want it to dry. Good. First one, now the second one. Lobivioides with Winteriana. Doing the same here. Spreading it out. This one has more brown ones. The brown ones are not ripe. They will not come up. Usually. I mean, it always depends on the size. You might be lucky and they might just be at the right size, you know, where they can come up, but usually when they are brown, they are not ripe. Has a weird scent, a weird smell, actually. This isn't the scent. I don't like it. I really don't. What you can also do with these is put them in a plastic bag and let them a little bit ferment. Let them ferment a little bit, and later you are washing them through the sieve. Then a lot of the tissue will already be broken down. Let me see the comments. I'm not seeing them here. Shipping cactus is like within the country, depending on how big it is, between maybe $5 and 15 or so. Like a really big one, you're paying 15 to 20. Within the country, internationally, it's barely affordable. A 5 kilo package costs you $50, and everything might be 100. So yeah, big cactus might cost you $100 to ship from Europe to the United States, maybe. And then customs will just destroy it, you know? That's life. Living the dream. Okay, so let me do it like this. Also spreading out this here. Let me do it like this. So many that are not ripe, that are just unviable. But I like this. This gives me a sign that at least we managed to make a true pollination. We didn't just induce a self-pollination, something like that. You know, we had, these are two plants that might not be so close to each other. And that seeing the brownish seeds in between tells me, yeah, this might have really worked. So I'm folding them, and tomorrow we will get them. We will put them in the bag like these here. And in the next month or two, we will start packing seeds. It's time. I need to do it. Need to pack the seeds, and we will do it. Yeah, fertilizing. Tomorrow we will fertilize the vegetables. Everything from the live stream will get fertilizer, and they will get the Wuxia Super Fertilizer. Yeah, this one here needs a little bit water. Let's give it to it before it's not making it. But yeah, in the evening I will definitely do a video. The flowers that are opening now are probably last. And then I can finally focus, after the bookkeeping stuff, I can finally focus on everything else, on the reporting. I'm currently a little bit overwhelmed with everything. There's just too much stuff that's happening at once. Oh. Let me see here. I only have one. Give me a second. Oh, come on. I'll go in. It's really easier when you turn off the water. Gotta be careful not to swear. I almost swore. I felt the anger come up in me. The tomatoes are great. I have a few tomatoes left and right. Have a few tomatoes left and right, but it's not really a big harvest. You know, we are going to have maybe 30 tomatoes, I suspect. But it's okay. It's better than nothing, you know. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. So unnecessary. Okay. Yeah, good. So I could have also watered the plant without the attachment, but in that moment I was just not thinking straight. I hate walking too much. Everything hurts here. Let me see. What's this? I really have to. Okay. I need a new faucet. The faucet's making problems. I put that twice like that. There's something to split the water into two, and it's just trash. It's just not working the way I want it. You've seen it just now. Just want to give a little bit water here that we're not losing it until tomorrow. Not much, just a little bit. And also this one here. Yeah, I will have a look at that later. Something's not right with the faucet, really, with the faucet. Like when I take the thing down, it's not closing anymore. And I think that this plastic double connector here, where you can use two water hoses at once, I think that might have broke something in the faucet. Maybe it broke the gauge. I don't know what's in there, but since I had put that thing on, it wasn't working really fully anymore. So I couldn't take it off, and I want to replace the faucet outside, but I didn't get to it yet. Okay. Yeah, we will take that out. We will take that apart later. The pots, we will move over there to the repotting area now. Next time we are doing repotting will be maybe tomorrow. We will see. Yeah. Later we will discuss what we will repot, what kind of plants we will repot. To be honest, I'm running out of plants that are in real urgent need of a pot. I have a few that are either too big already to repot them, or too small to put them in a pot of this size. We will see. By the end of the season, some of the plants might have grown so fast that we might have to repot them again. So yeah. Next days we are clearing out the greenhouse when I'm done with the office work. Office work has priority right now, and I hate it. But it has to be done too. Yeah, this here Amun-Re, just wanted to show it again because unfortunately now, due to the time-lapse video, I haven't really been able to film the flower in the way I used to film it. You know, when it opened up in the greenhouse, you can always record the video. And when you're doing it like this, time-lapse wise, this is really, you can only show it once in the time-lapse. And by the time because you have to film it out, you have to film the closing of the flower also a little bit. And yeah, that might be a waste, you know. I might have to, next year I might have to think, maybe we shouldn't do the time lapse. Maybe we should instead just spend a day or two just filming the plant. Because Amun-Re, like when the flower was open, it looked great. I wanted to show it more, but I was so busy doing the office stuff that I really didn't get to it. But yeah, Amun-Re, really good one, pollinated with the Hilde Winterer from yesterday by Jutta Schatz. I call it Total Neon, but I don't think it's the official name yet. I want to leave that to the breeder who has grown the plant, like who has bred it, so to speak. Okay, Yeah, I think this is good. Let me clear everything up here. By the way, check this out. These are the tomatoes. Few tomatoes here. I'm getting really hungry when I look at them. They're looking really good. Quite happy, to be honest. Like the tomatoes and the chili have been a big success. I'm really glad that we did it. They were easy to grow. Everyone who wants to try, if I can do it, you can do it. You know, they have been relatively easy. The only thing that I have to be careful with was giving them a little bit stability, and I didn't do enough. I should have stacked them up a little bit more, and I'm sure if I had stacked them more, they might have more fruit. Also, I could have fertilized these a lot more, but I didn't want to over fertilize them when you're eating them. That is in general something that I recommend not to do. Over fertilization, over fertilizing can lead to a higher susceptibility to fungal infections, that kind of stuff. So yeah, but I'm sure when you're fertilizing more, you can push the harvest. Like that's the kind of stuff when you're getting good at it. This is not getting good. What I'm doing is just hobby. We are just growing a few to experiment, to play around with it. But I'm sure if you really want to do it, stacking them up and fertilizing them on a schedule every week, then you could get huge harvest. Yeah, I think we will try that one tomorrow. Going to have the first edible plant on the live stream then. I also by the way, I tested that Carolina Reaper a couple of days ago, and we will try it again then, maybe when we're trying this one. But I needed a day or two to let my stomach recover a little bit. I really felt like the day after I was feeling a little weird in the stomach, you know, like a little bit tingly in the stomach. Was really not so good for the stomach. Yeah. Oh, this one here we will definitely repot. This is a plant that I want to repot in the next days. This one here we will repot. This is a hybrid called Fast 12. So in case I forget, this is on the list of plants that should get a bigger pot. Yeah, and we will see. We will walk through the collection and I'm sure we'll find something that could use a bigger pot. This one here is just in the process of rooting. This one here could come in a bigger pot, but I would love to see if I even want to keep that or not. This one here we will repot. This is a plant that I want to repot. It's an interesting body. This is a flying dragon hybrid that should get into a bigger pot, but it's already a huge chunk. I think if we're putting that in the big pot, there's no way to move it anymore. Then the Cactus here is a plant that we might repot. Would be great to have Cactus in a big pot. I want to see the flowers, you know. I want to share the flowers, want to compare them. Yeah, but it's looking good. I'm quite happy with everything. So yeah, let me clean the smartphone and then I'm doing my outro. Okay, so yeah, this is it for today's live stream. Thank you guys for always being here. I can only say it every day because it's true. It wouldn't be so much fun for me if it weren't for the people who always spend the time with me. Thank you all, guys. I hope you have a great weekend. I can assure you that we will have an amazing, like the plants that we are repotting right now. I've never repotted the way I repot now. And I know that will pay back. You know, we will get a reward for that within the next years in regards to seeing amazing stuff. And it's only possible because I have that audience, the supporters who also once again supported me in this live stream. So thank you guys for making this possible, for making the repotting going, you know, for keeping it going. I greatly appreciate it. Okay. Thank you guys. Wishing you a great weekend, everyone. Until tomorrow morning, same time. Have a nice day.